If anybody else wants to confirm in the chat that nothing is on fire.
Okay. Um.
Cool. Anyways,
All right.
so let's talk about
The,
this game.
no, to
Ceci-
refresh what we were saying. If you like space waifus, and if you want a strategic game and a game where you can pilot a ship, but also get the space waifus, you should consider this game.
So, may I just confirm something here and make sure I'm on the up and up with this game?
Yeah.
People, a total of a group of people paid $2 million fucking dollars because not only did they want to see space boobies, they wanted to make themselves work for it in a maybe, mid-tier production game so they can see said space boobies. Like, they didn't just want space boobies, they wanted to make sure that they worked for it, and they paid a lot of money for that. Am I understanding that?
58,000 people specifically, yes. Almost 59,000 people. Yeah.
For those 59,000 people, I am glad for them. Nick, are you one of those people?
I did not back it, no.
Glenn, did you back it?
No. I didn't even know there was such a thing as sex video games before just now.
Oh,
my sweet summer child.
I was gonna say my poor baby.
It's just not my I don't know, it's not my jam.
You say
No,
it's
that's
not your thing, but you
understanding.
just
I
discovered
understand
it.
the allure.
You're adverse
like-
to it. You just saw it. You're a little scared. It's okay. It's like
Oh,
a mud bath. Like mud's dirty, but once you start bathing in it, it's like, wow, it cleans out my pores. Anyways,
not-
So we don't know how much it's gonna go on sale for, but it is gonna launch by the end of the year. Looks like it. So yeah, just keep an eye out for that, chat. And everybody listening, I'm going into stream mode.
yeah, you are going into stream mode. Oh, jeez, what are you doing to us?
Yeah, just keep an eye out for that. It'll be on Steam. Subverse, Subverse. Just want to make sure that you know where to find it. You can Google it. Find it on Steam. Yeah.
Nick, I'm surprised because you thought I'd be all in on this, but I'm actually horribly affronted by it.
No, not all in. I just thought you'd at least be interested in talking about it.
I'm happy to talk a lot of shit about it, but maybe 2019 has changed me, but it just seems like this is not the time and age for something like this, not for something to be in the forefront. I mean, don't get me wrong, we've always gotten those kind of games from like Japan, every once in a while there's that one company who's like, they want them boobies. And it's like, cool. They got the supply, but the fact that people or a group of people have gotten 58,000 people to come out from the shadows of the basement to not only from the basement, but they also had money. That's the scarier part. And they got this shit funded.
You just have to find the right places, and there's a lot more kinds of games where these came from, like full-on action RPG games focusing on the sex elements. You just really have to know where to look, and it surprised you how many kinds of games there are. There are games about Vikings. There are games about mystical lands. There are magical space games. We live in a world. So that's we'll just leave it there for Subverse.
Could I say one last thing?
Yes.
Do you know who else spent $2 million recently?
No.
Sony to update their media player to play virtual reality porn. Do you know who's not bragging about it?
Sony. Yeah, because they're not a company that sullies their hands with games like these and are proud of it at least.
I mean, it's not a matter of pride because that's what certain people would want to go for. They want to go for the shame angle on this, and I'm not going to shame the people that want to do this, but I always appreciated the idea that this style game and all that stuff was always talk under the table, so to speak. Just the idea that it's being brought to the the front of the damn store. Just this is the game of the year highlight. It just I think it's distasteful. I think it's breaking character. Okay. That's all I got to say.
Okay. Tyler, do you want to lead us into this this next topic here? This is our topic of the show.
Absolutely. Glenn, how are you familiar with somebody called the company Riot?
Oh, I've heard of them.
Okay. Have you heard of Blizzard maybe?
Yeah.
How about Twitch?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you know what these have all in common in today's news?
Why don't you tell me about it, Tyler?
Oh, Glenn, I'm glad you asked, buddy of mine. So apparently a lot of the co-founders of these companies decided that enough is enough. They wanted to finally rake in the big bucks. They want to get that Titanic movie money. They are wanting to make this into a multimedia on a level like never seen before. We haven't seen this kind of jump to go into a main platform. And I'm going to say it up front here. This is the news article. Video Game Network launches with $17 million in funding with a backing of Riot, Twitch, and Blizzard co-founders, which are some pretty big companies for this kind of front. We haven't seen it's been so fucking long since video games have gone back to like national television over in the States. It's just not as big of a thing anymore. I mean, back in the day we had G4 and all that stuff, but because it's been driven off either by bigwigs over in Hollywood or whatnot, it's mostly surfaced back over on the internet. You know, when you think of video game stuff and news and whatnot, it's all internet based, but apparently people with a shit ton of money want to try to put it back on the big screen, figuratively. So we got a bunch of people teaming together with a large amount of money to make something that's going to be running under the it's called VENN, the Video Game Entertainment and News Network. And,
I will say before you carry on, there is some precedence for this in the form of the Overwatch League, because lately they have
True.
collaborated with ESPN to showcase the games, and I feel like that might have been a test case.
good, that would be an excellent platform. They're trying to go for a channel that plays 24/7. Like, this is their channel. This is their well, I'm gonna say Nickelodeon. I don't know why I picked that. This is their own ESPN channel network. They're
Funnily enough, the Overwatch League games were broadcasted on Disney XD. Some of them.
Interesting. What?
Yeah, some of them were broadcasted on Disney XD.
Well, yeah.
And
Disney's
and
owned by
if
ESPN.
yeah, and if you've seen any of the games, either of you, I know like Overwatch may not necessarily be a big thing, but you've even caught like just a brief like just watching a little bit on the Twitch channel, the production quality is there. Like they're full on the production quality is pretty good. They have official casters, they have translators, they have in between segments, in between games, they have like sports like team breakdowns, like any kind of like
Sponsorships.
competitive esports sponsorships with big companies, Toyota, Sour Patch Kids. Those are the only two that come to mind. Yeah, so there is some precedence with this on Blizzard's side, and it makes sense for Riot because of League of Legends and how often it's watched, and it makes sense for Twitch because they've been doing recently the biggest sponsorship, not biggest, but the more mainstream sponsorship they've done is with NFL and having certain Twitch broadcasters cast over the NFL games, like Tim the Tatman specifically. But now I'll leave it up to you.
So VENN, this network, if you will, is going to be, it's been founded by a gentleman named Ben Cousin. I don't know how you want to pronounce that, but I mean, he's got the money, so he can, pronounce it however the fuck he wants. There's a quote from here that says that there's a huge, oh god, I'm going to say chasm. Is that okay? Is that right? I have so much trouble with silent H's. I used to call it carcoal almost my entire life up until like 3 years ago, and I got made fun of by my wife and Brandon.
Chasm is correct.
Okay. Let's start right here. Between Twitch, YouTube, and there's a chasm between Twitch and YouTube, and then ABC, ESPN, Turner, and all those kind of networks, and they want to fill that space. They have a goal of broadcasting 24/7 with over 55 hours of original gaming focused content each week. I mean, obviously there would be some reruns here and there, but they want to guarantee at least 55 hours of new content every week that will focus around a reality series, documentaries, and other shows around streamed gameplay and whatnot. Which this could be something I'd be interested in watching. The only problem is though, Would a person buy a full cable package for one show?
I mean, people buy Netflix for The Office, so
True. I mean,
you
I feel
know,
like it's a little bit on a bigger
right?
scale because it's
Um,
yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt there, but then if the other article you linked does say that this will work on a subscription basis, like it'll be an app on a desktop or mobile, like mobile, and you can like pay a subscription, monthly subscription, something like Netflix or Hulu, and you can that's how you gain access to it.
Hmm, okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
Honestly, personally, when it comes to something like that, the answer for me would be like, even if I only got it for League, am I gonna have to pay $30 a month for this thing? If that's the case, probably not. I'll just watch the replays,
Sure.
like on YouTube. But like for the most part, if they're gonna tell me, it's gonna cost me $10 a month to have access to not only League of Legends, but also get familiarized with other gaming and esports communities, with a good production value and consistent broadcasting, then yeah, I mean, I think that's really, really, really cool
So something. I mean,
price
is there
point.
any big thoughts on this? Is this something? I mean, it seems like the news has been kind of slow this week, so we picked stuff that kind of like tickled our fancy. I was about to say tickle our balls, but we've gotten enough talk like that out of the way. But not really like holy shit, we're into this. That it's been video games that came out this week. So when it comes to the news, it seems a little bit slower. But yeah, the idea of finally getting our G4 equivalent back, except
Yeah.
my only concern is G4. I'm trying to remember who made G4. G4 was an American TV channel. It was
I think that's where I first saw Jessica Chobot.
I when G4 is G4 Media is an actual company that's currently within part of Comcast. So it was their attempt at trying to get video games into the mainstream, if you will. That was a bit different because they were a smaller group trying to hit the mark here. This is big fucking money. This is a major corporation that's going to be charging in. So it feels so weird thinking that G4 Media was the Titanic trying to make the break. Now this is a modern day cruise liner that's well over 10 times the size. It's just going to come barging in. What do you think this will do for the mainstream audience that isn't really influenced by video games right now?
Um, my for a mainstream audience, I don't know, because we're still, I wouldn't say reeling or like still in, we're still kind of like feeling the effects of having
Nick
the
is
best
at
way
a
I can
loss of
articulate it.
words.
If we look at the Ninja Drake thing that happened last year, right? That exposed live streaming to a whole new sector of people. And it introduced gaming to a whole new sector of people. Then we had the Fortnite World Cup this year, and then people started to realize just how much money people actually make, and what kind of money and what kind of people play these games. And so it's kind of like things are slowly changing, be it for the better or the worse. Things are changing. The only concerns I have about Ven, is just how it's going to affect creators that are already on these different platforms, because a lot of them do have exclusivity for original content. So unless let's take Geek and Sundry as an example, right? They have their Twitch channel, they have their subscribers. Ven would need to offer them a substantial contract for them to comfortably move their channel to Ven. Because they wouldn't allow it to be on both platforms, and then Twitch would have to do like a risk assessment. Is it worth like that sector that they've not monopolized, but that they have a big share of on Twitch? Is
Yeah.
It's
it
a lot
worth
of
giving
money.
that over to like off my platform, right?
Meanwhile,
Or
YouTube is fucking unverifying people saying, "Hey, we
well,
don't recognize you anymore."
they reversed on that. So they actually did that over the last 48 hours, I think. People who had their verification are going to keep their verification, and they're going to update their standards. So like anybody who's going to lose it, they're not no longer losing it. So that's another conversation. But no, like there are like there's now precedence for either brand new types of channels, with people who have experience with running, like Critical Role or Geek and like whatever, to start up new things and get new contracts, or existing channels to move over to this new platform. But it would have to be a mutual agreement if you have all these different investors, all these big names involved, because nobody wants to lose out. It's all about what affects their bottom line.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's true. All right.
Yeah, I
Glenn.
don't think Twitch would have invested as much as they did if they didn't foresee themselves making money on both sides of it. Like they may lose some people on this side, but then they'll get more sponsor dollars for here. So maybe it'll get exposed to more people, and even if they do lose a little money, I'm guessing they're hoping kind of like what you said with the Drake Ninja thing, they'll reach out to more people and in the long run make more money. Even if they lose money on the Twitch platform, the Ven platform will start to kind of like rise up and bring
Right.
more people in. So then in the long run, they'll make money.
Right. It's kind of like
What
whenever we
they're
have guests or like with you, it's like um you're a part of this now. We're having a good time, but you also get a chance to like talk about Ready to Roll or some of the other
Mhm.
things that you do. So like having people move over from Twitch, from YouTube, from Mix, wherever, from like they'll be like, yeah, this is what I do, and then people be like, hey, I really like this guy casting this tournament. Where can I find him? What else
Yeah.
does he do? Right.
And I mean, I do like the idea of like because I think speed running and things like that is a part of the gaming community that is not necessarily highlighted enough. It takes a lot of skill to do a lot of things those people do, outside of it being a standard esport. But like one thing he said here, it was a tournament of more polished, produced shows. They said it what which is thousands of streamers every day doing their thing with an enormous amount of discovery. We're looking to fundamentally go in and curate that content for core gamers and casuals. I love that. But then he goes on to say, usually have cameras where you're staring at someone's face, and they're talking about a typical broadcast. And he says there's a way to really elevate that format, and that makes me go, okay, so if I'm not chosen by you, then am I going to get left in the dust as an average affiliate streamer? Like, is this going to make this a less viable way for people to make a living?
Right.
You know? So I don't know, there's some concerns there because I'm not like a huge streamer. I'm an affiliate, woo, but like that doesn't mean that I'm making a living wage off of it. But like, is this going to make it so that they're going to partner with all the biggest people and the biggest people, just like in Hollywood? Like, what is it? I think 1% of Hollywood makes like 95% of the money. It's crazy. Like, so is that going to turn into this with Twitch? And Twitch is already getting kind of a little more disparity in that, and by those standards, but like it'll be interesting to see if that's going to become a problem, you know? I hope
Right.
not. I'm optimistic. I think it's cool. Maybe it'll be amazing and they'll start elevating streamers that are, lower down that they see good qualities in. They'll scout people and be like, hey, this person has qualities we like. They're only an affiliate, but let's bring them on to Ven, and then people who were previously unknown are getting a chance to actually elevate their own ability as a streamer. But we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah, it would be
I'm
cool. I think if if they opened up like applications for certain things, like if you wanted to be like a caster or like a production or whatever, they're like, if you want to be a caster, why don't you go out there, cast some tournaments? Here's our permission, and then send us in that reel, kind of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
But I don't think that'll happen initially. I think they'll just cherry pick for the initial like run. I think that's probably what's going to happen, and then they'll start opening it up more once they see that it's viable.
Yeah. Yeah, they're gonna start with the big ones and then they'll move over.
All right, Nick. I think it's time.
I think it's time. I think we've ranted long enough today. So, gonna go on to the game releases. We've got quite a few actually this
Yeah.
week. Starting at the top, starting September 24th, we've got Contra Rogue Corps, PS4, Xbox One, PC, and Nintendo Switch. FIFA 20, PS4, Xbox, PC, Nintendo Switch. Standard release for this time of the year. Harvest Moon Mad Dash coming out also on the 24th on the Nintendo Switch and to be determined on the PS4.
That's kind of ominous, but okay. Have either
Just a
of you
little
played
bit.
Harvest Moon before? Like any of the
No.
Harvest Moon or okay?
I hear that it and
I would like anybody who likes Stardew Valley,
Stardew
like
Valley.
yeah,
Yeah,
that would give you like similar vibes. Not the same vibes, but there.
same vein.
It gets you there, but you're not gonna go right over the edge like that easily with the
Mhm.
same. Cool.
Yeah, returning back to the list, The Surge 2, which is an action role playing game coming out 24th as well, PS4, Xbox One, and PC. Um, Next on the list is what is this? Mario Kart Tour. September
Ooh.
25th is an iOS exclusive game, so it's a mobile Mario Kart game. Uh, How do you feel about that, Tyler?
I mean, my wife has an iPad, but I'm not exactly excited to play Mario Kart on a touchscreen. So, hurrah!
Yay! We've got the Ninja Saviors: Return of the Warriors, the North American release, September 26th, PS4 and Nintendo Switch. This is the remake of a '94 SNES game called Ninja Warriors, which is a beat 'em up style game.
Side scroller previously.
Yes. Previously, at least. I haven't seen anything from the remake. Then we've got Code Vein, September 27th, PS4, Xbox One, PC. And I feel like there was a big developer behind this. Let me just pull that up here. Oh, yeah, Bandai Namco.
Yeah, just a little one.
A little bit.
So Code Vein coming out on the 27th. Dragon Quest 11, Echoes of an Elusive Age S, Definitive Edition, September 27th, Nintendo Switch.
Take a breath.
That
Good
is,
lord.
that is a wordy title.
Seriously.
Breathe.
Anybody have any experience with Dragon Quest games?
Yeah, back in the day, but we're talking like, I mean, there's so many different ones. I'm not even sure if they're by the same company, Dragon Quest, Dragon Warrior, and all that stuff. But I played Dragon Quest, I believe. I don't remember which one, but when it was on the Game Boy Color.
Okay.
But it's been a while since I've gotten my hands on a Dragon Quest for a modern day setting. I've played similar things, but not the same.
One of the developers for Dragon Quest 11 is Square Enix.
Yep.
Oh.
And then finally on the list, Ori and the Blind Forest Definitive Edition, September 27th for the Nintendo Switch.
Ooh,
This
good
is, I
for the
believe, one of
Switch.
this is one of the games that was teased or like announced at E3 and like earlier this year. So that's finally out. Yeah, that's it for game releases for the week. We're gonna move on to this day in gaming for September 23rd. Did anybody find anything particular on the list?
Yeah.
All right. Tyler, do you want to hit us with what you found?
Sure. We should start with the top ones, though, that are currently listed so we can stay chronological. I will do it. September
Okay.
23rd. I wish to wish with all my heart to give you this birthday card. Happy birthday, Lego Batman, the video game. It came out, I have no idea where, in 2008. Because somebody forgot to list a platform. Oh, God.
Yeah, I
breathing.
did forget to list the list.
Oh, God, I don't know who to send this card to. This birthday card, happy 11th birthday.
Hang on. Lego Batman came out PSP, 360, PlayStation 3, Windows, PS2, and Wii.
Oh, so everybody. Okay, happy birthday, Lego Batman, on everything.
United States and Canada, and this was the first release. It came out for EU and the rest of the world later on.
I'm sorry, I'm having too much fun with this. So, Midway Games Inc. Did Midway Games get created in 1996? Is that what this is suggesting here?
No, the company. So this was going to be a little bit of a history listing because it was a bit of a barren list for standout games. So Midway Games Incorporated was 1996 was when they were renamed as Midway Games Incorporated. They were they used to be called WCI Games Corporation, that was merged into Atari Games Corporation, and Midway went bankrupt in 2009.
Yep.
But whatever assets that they had were taken over by Warner Bros. And that includes a lot of the Mortal Kombat titles.
Oh, yeah.
But some of the more the old school ones. So their last game that came out was in 2015, and I believe it was a remaster of Mortal Kombat 1, 2, and 3. Or not a remaster, I think it was just a republishing of the older games.
Sounds about right. Sounds like something they would do before they go kaput. But yeah. I remember this day in history, actually, when Midway was clearly going defunct and Warner Brothers swept in, got the bid for 33 mil, got almost all the assets. There's a couple that kind of got left. I believe that what is the term of software that doesn't like no one really knows where it belongs to because it kind of died with the company rather than get sold off. Like
Deadware? I don't know.
I'm gonna say deadware, something like that. But there's I don't remember any specific titles, but I remember like there being some situations where it died with Midway Games or it died with THC even after it got sold off or rebranded. It's
Right. Yeah, like Midway back in the 90s made Killer Instinct 2. They did a lot of the NBA, NHL titles. They did Quake in 98. They did The Grid in 2000. Yeah, no, they were responsible for a lot of games, and it's just unfortunate what happened to them. But yeah, that's the little history lesson. And then Glenn, was this you that you listed this next one here?
Yeah, just I thought it was a good one. Just because I remember playing on my OG PlayStation. I never actually got the game, but I got the demo for this game.
Was this triangle boobs, like pointy boobs era?
oh,
Yeah,
this
yeah,
is PlayStation era for sure.
yeah. Tomb
Yeah,
Raider: The Greatest
um,
Hits was released in the U.S. Yeah.
Yeah, it came out in 98. This one was just
You
going
say the greatest
into
hits
time.
because if you did, I will fight you.
Yeah.
Tomb Raider, the greatest hits.
No, the greatest hits.
Okay, I was making
edition.
sure we
Yeah.
said hits because I thought, like, I'm like, oh god, are we about to go? This devolved into this level.
Oh,
of
you thought we said something else?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I did.
No.
This was, I think, before Platinum became what PlayStation did. Yeah. Like the Platinum version of the game. All right. So that was
Yep.
the episode.
Yep. I'm gonna do the other ones that I told you I had, but I was gonna wait till we did the
right.
chronological ones. Two things. First one is happy 15th birthday, the Blackthorn. As it was released on the SNES. For those who don't know, Blackthorn is one of the first games Blizzard did before Warcraft thing. Yeah. Let me try to talk.
Okay.
Blizzard made Blackthorn one of its first games, if not the first. It came out on Windows and all that. And this was before Blizzard started exploring the idea of Warcraft as a concept. So,
Okay.
a predecessor, if you will.
The
And
platform shooter came out for Game Boy Advance, Macintosh, the Sega 32X, Windows. Okay, cool.
and then it came out for SNES. I know it's not the, it was a bit of a
No,
long
that's
shot here.
important. I never I didn't hear about I didn't know about Blackthorn, so I'm glad you pointed that out.
And this came out in Japan, so maybe it shouldn't count. But happy birthday to Sonic, for Sonic CD coming out for the
Oh, okay.
Sega CD. That came out.
Was this the
and-
this is
What's
the
up?
first Sonic?
No, this is not Sonic the Hedgehog, the original one for the Sega Genesis. This is I mean, there's a lot of them, but this came out over in the. Oh man, it's been a while actually. I don't have the information pulled up, but yeah,
I mean, important regardless, but I think because I saw the CD and I didn't see the Hedgehog or Sonic 2 or like I didn't stick out to me. So okay, cool.
yep, came out this day in 1993. So happy 26th
60th.
birthday! Wow, I am fucking.
No,
old.
26th. Yeah, no, 26th.
I just said 26. I'll fight you.
Yeah, I said you're correct, Tyler. You are correct.
Then why would you say it with such a derogatory tone? Roll for your initiative.
All right.
No, this podcast is too long. End it. Glenn's about to
Okay.
shit his pants or something. I don't know what's going on over
Glenn,
there.
where can we find you?
On Twitter at Glenn Houston. You can find me on Twitch at Razeth.
Your voice is getting higher and higher. I'm sorry.
And you can what?
Could you
Okay,
repeat
yeah.
that? I talked over you.
Oh, Razeth, Glenn Houston, Twitter. Also Ready to Roll and Casual Master Quest. D&D segment, which will be coming out, I think, tentatively middle of the week, probably maybe next week or the following. So, yeah.
Just refocusing my camera. Okay. I'm assuming you said, where can we find you, Tyler? And that the answer is 2 times Tyler, one word, on Twitter. Nothing else for right now. Or you can check me out where I play as Roger, the Changeling Sorcerer. Which, if you guys haven't fucking figured out, we made a D&D podcast. First episode. The episode's not out yet. You can find it out on YouTube if you want to check out, our rough draft, if you will, of what's going on. It was a little crazy. It was interesting. But right now, I'm looking at the team. Some people are hangry. Some people are tired. Some people have something going on that's really scary. And heat stroke is a terrible thing. Nick, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitch and Instagram at LR11. You can also find me on Twitter at LR the 11th. LRTHE 11th. You can find the show Casual Master Quest on Twitter at MasterQuestPod. You can also email us at casualmasterquest@gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram at Casual Master Quest. Just put it right in the search bar. And yeah, we're on Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, Luminary, anywhere you can find a podcast. We are probably there. Yeah. Any last words before we end off here? Anything? I did want to say, Glenn, you were going to TwitchCon next week.
Yes.
Next weekend.
If anybody is at TwitchCon, please don't be afraid to say hi. I'll have the big beard and I'll probably wear this hat just so I'm recognizable.
Right.
Yeah.
But beyond that, thank you very much for listening. This was episode 67 of Casual Master Quest. That was Tyler.
I'm wet.
That was Glenn. Enjoy the rest of your week. Thank you for listening. And don't forget to never stop the grind. Bye.
Bye. Bye. That's what he said. That's the bye. All right, Nick, I don't even think we got to see what I did at the end there.